I knew it. This is an alien, and you guys are from some government agency trying to keep it under wraps.
I can't take it anymore!
You've got troubles, Mac.
Did you know that the first Matrix was designed to be a perfect human world, where none suffered, where everyone would be happy? And it was a disaster. No one would accept the program. Entire crops were lost. Some believed that we lacked the programming language to describe your perfect world, but I believe that as a species, human beings define their reality through misery and suffering. So the perfect world was a dream that your primitive cerebrum kept trying to wake up from. Which is why the Matrix was redesigned to this, the peak of your civilization.
So this is how liberty dies, with thunderous applause.
Sharing the truth one fact at a time. This is the Free America Radio Network.
Hello, folks. This is Friday, the 30th of May, 2014. You're listening to the views expressed right here on the Free America Radio Network. I am your host, Reverend Wayne S. Pierce. How are you today? Yeah. How are you? Well, let's see. Shinseki quit as the VA head. Jay Carney quit as the press secretary. Let's see. How many other people are going to quit? Can we just have President Obama and Vice President Biden quit now? I mean, we don't need them. we seriously don't need them, okay? We have like almost a third of the population of the United States unemployed. I'm sure there's somebody in there that can run this place better than they can. I'm sure. Hey, Bob Brutus, how you doing today? Drop on over to the Spreaker chat. Say hello. Everybody, if you would, please. I'm not over on the Waking Up the Masses chat room, but I noticed through the whole show yesterday, I said, hey, and nobody said anything. So, I'm just saying, drop on over to the Spreaker chat. Yeah. You want to interact with me, that's where you do it. Also, if you want to promote Free America Radio Network, you can do that. You have my permission to do that. Getting little things coming up on my cell phone now. Holy crap. Okay. Okay, let me get out of that thing. But yes, if you want to promote Free America Radio Network, you have my permission to do so. And let me know where you promote it at. That way I can give you credit. There you go. Promotions. If you have a show or something that you want to promote, I'll promote it every day for free. But if you have, like something you want to sell, or if you're a business or something like that, please consider advertising on the Free America Radio Network. We can certainly use it, and so can you. And you'll be helping free America from the tyranny and the oppression of Washington, D.C., and it'll be to your advantage to do so. So thank you very much. Email me if you have any questions at freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. And, well, folks, I don't know. I'll be back right after this message. This is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce from the Free America Radio Network. Prepare yourself for the unexpected. Have an emergency food supply available when you need it. You never know when the next power outage or natural disaster will happen. Are you prepared when it does? Go to Free America Radio Network website and click on the Store tab and get your emergency food supply now. Go to freeamericaradio.us. A natural disaster could happen at any time. Be prepared. Go to freeamericaradio.us and click on the Store tab to get your emergency food supply today. That's freeamericaradio.us and click on the Store tab and prepare in case something happens. Listen to the Diana and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri Talk Show, Friday nights at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern, right here on Spreaker.com. Sharing the truth, one fact at a time. Listen to the views expressed live on the Free America Radio Network. Broadcasting live on WakingUpTheMasses.com and 1610 AM in the Chickamauga, Georgia area. Tune into the Views Expressed live Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on the Free America Radio Network. For more information, go to freeamericaradio.us. What is reality? The foundation of reality is based on many concepts. Each person perceives reality differently. In the book, The Grid by Marie D. Jones and Larry Flaxman, they explore the hidden infrastructure of reality. Get your copy today at Barnes & Noble and Amazon.com. The Grid by Marie D. Jones and Larry Flaxman.
It's Spencer Hughes from The Spencer Hughes Show on Spreaker.com, and you're listening to The Views Expressed Live.
You're listening to The Views Expressed right here on the Free America Radio Network. Hey, folks, how you doing? This is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce. How are you doing for the 30th of May, 2014, right here? Yes. Go to freeamericaradio.us for more information and check out the articles that I'm going to be talking about today on Free America Radio on Facebook. Yes, seems like, did you hear the new one about Mr. Z? Yeah, he's pledged $120 million to some schools over the next few years. Kind of going in line with another philanthropist. Yeah, Bill Gates, who wants to depopulate the world by 90%. Really? Yeah, check it out, folks. Go to Free America Radio on Facebook. We have a lot to discuss today. Smart meter spying finally admitted. It's over on davidike.com. And if you click on it, it might say, well, you know, you're going to take 5 seconds to get to the site. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff happening. Industry mouthpiece Smart Grid News finally admitted that smart meters are surveillance devices. Of course, they didn't quite put it that bluntly. In fact, they celebrate the ability of utilities to know what appliances people use as another tool to help craft the wonderful world of the future. And haven't you heard yet, folks? I mean, did you hear the former Defense Secretary, David Petraeus, say that they were going to have, you know, all of your appliances connected to the internet at some point? By the way, they already do that. Have you seen, a couple of years ago, I saw some information come out in the tech world where your refrigerator, literally, whatever is in your refrigerator will be tagged with an RFID chip. And that RFID chip, the refrigerator will be built to identify each and every single item in your refrigerator and your freezer and have a monitor on the front of it so it will tell you when you're low on butter or milk or bread or, pickles or whatever. And doesn't stop there, folks. It contacts the store nearest to you that delivers food and will order the food for you and probably, if set up correctly, can pay for the food for you out of your bank account. I've seen the information pertaining to that. Folks, don't tell me it's convenient, because smart meters and all this technology that they attach to your house only means one thing. They want to know what you're doing. Okay? That's just the way it is. I've seen the information a couple of years ago. I saw it. And it really, in a way, scares the hell out of me. But in another way, I know what I need to be doing. Can you say off of the grid? I was flipping through Facebook and somebody put up a picture of an old style 1800s kitchen with, it was all brick. It was all, no microwaves, no nothing. It was just all, pots and pans and, wood burning stoves. And I thought to myself, man, that would be great to get back to that. And then I thought to myself, that would be a hell of a job to clean it up too. So technology is good to a point, but after a while you just want to step away and just clear your head of all this stuff. But remember, your appliances, the new appliances, you won't see this in Walmart, by the way, but the new appliances will have ways that they can connect to the smart meter and connect to other things. By the way, the patents have already been out there for quite some time to where when they wire your house or you have an appliance in your house, it will be wired in such a way to where data will be transmitted over those wires. So you won't see the internet connection, you won't see the Ethernet connection on the back of your toaster. It'll all be within your walls. And you won't have to worry about any of it. I would worry just because. And now, I really want to stress this next point. If you are so inclined to accept the mass surveillance that your local communities and your state has, on you, I would say you got a problem. I myself and hundreds of thousands, if not millions and millions of people are tired of the surveillance grid. And the one thing that you have to understand is the little thing that you carry around all day long, if you do. It's called your cell phone. And I got mine in my hot little hands. Right there. I'm tapping on the screen. If you go into system settings, I have an Android-powered phone, by the way. And you go into location services, that's how they track you. By the way, Google location services lets apps use data from sources such as Wi-Fi and mobile networks to determine your approximate location. By the way, look this up, folks. Palantir. Palentir. That is run by a guy by the name of Peter Thiel, who contributed $26 million to the Ron Paul campaign and is now running Palantir. He used to run PayPal. Palantir has contracted with a wonderful little company named Google to take all of your information, all of your data, everything that you ever do, text, say, on the phone, everywhere, on the internet, they have it. They give it to Google. By the way, Google is an NSA CIA front company created quite some time ago. So, think about it, folks. You have a monitor on the front of your refrigerator telling you that you're low on milk. Where do you think that information actually goes to before hitting the store? You know. I don't, you know. I don't know. I'm at the point now where if we're under surveillance, then obviously on this live broadcast, the NSA could possibly hear me. Well, I got one thing to say to you. Kiss my ass. That's all I got to say. Stephen Cullenborn is in the Spreaker chat. Yes, he asked me if I've heard of Operation American Spring. Yes, I did. Brian Lang from Live Truth Radio was broadcasting live from there last week. So, yes, he's also hadn't been here in a while, so welcome, Stephen. Appreciate that. The other thing that I want to say in connection with this massive surveillance grid is this. It is important to understand that it does not matter whether you say, oh, I've got nothing to hide. What are they going to find? It's not about that, folks. It's about complete and utter control. Where you go, what you do, who you see, where you work. Can you say communism? Can you say a technocratic society built upon mass surveillance grid and tracking of everything that you do? By the way, if you live in California, they're now considering taxing you per mile for everywhere you drive. So it's not so much about surveilling you. It's all about control. And it has nothing to do with keeping you safe. It never has, and it never will. Now, if sometimes I seem crude and, all that, well, just consider it an emphasis on how I truly feel. I'd rather not go overboard, but hey, a few, things here and there, hey, not a problem. Copblock on Facebook. Americans have First Amendment right to film police. U.S. Appeals Court rules. Good. Get out there, film them. Right now. Today, tomorrow, this weekend, whatever. The freethoughtproject.com has this article. Americans have First Amendment right to film police. U.S. Appeals Court rules. Get out there and film each and every single one of them doing their job. And hold each and every single one of them accountable. Okay? A federal appeals court has ruled that Americans have a right to videotape police officers in public, thereby allowing a court case brought against New Hampshire police to progress. Carla Gurick, I believe that's how you pronounce her name, was arrested in 2010 for videotaping members of the Weir Police Department who pulled over her friend during a traffic stop. Her video camera malfunctioned, however, and she failed to record evidence of the incident. Nevertheless, Gurick was arrested for disobeying a police officer, obstructing a government official, and, quote, unlawful interception of oral communications, unquote, the court said. Concerning her failed efforts to record the incident, the court noted that the malfunction was irrelevant. Quote, we agree that Curritt's First Amendment right does not depend on Whether her attempt to videotape was frustrated by a technical malfunction, there is no dispute that she took out the camera in order to record the traffic stop, unquote. Although Carla Gurek was never brought to trial, she subsequently sued the town of Weir, its police department, and the officers who arrested and charged her, alleging in pertinent part that the wiretapping charge constituted retaliatory prosecution in violation of her First Amendment rights, according to the appeal statement. The police officers involved in her arrest argued that they should be immune from a lawsuit. The First U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that Gurek, quote, was exercising a clearly established First Amendment right when she attempted to film the traffic stop in the absence of a police order to stop filming or leave the area, unquote. Quote, it is clearly established in this circuit that police officers cannot, consistently with the Constitution, prosecute citizens for violating wiretapping laws when they peacefully record a police officer performing his or her official duties in a public area, unquote, the appeals court said. The First Circuit covers Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Maine, Rhode Island, and sent the case back to the lower court for trial. The ruling allows her case to proceed. The decision comes amid a flurry of court cases involving citizens attempting to express their First Amendment rights by filming their encounters with law enforcement officers, many of whom say the recordings interfere with their work, to say nothing of the possibility that a camera may be mistaken for a weapon, which has been done at times, folks. Earlier this month, a Massachusetts woman was charged with using a concealed mobile phone allegedly in violation of state wiretapping regulations to audio record her own arrest. According to Massachusetts law, citizens are permitted to record police officers in public, but only if the police officer has been informed that a recording is taking place. Russia Today has that article as well as thefreethoughtproject.com. So I give them all the credit there, RT, for that. Let me tell you something, folks. Record the crap out of people. Just record the cops, record everybody. Just everybody in a uniform, record them. You have the First Amendment right to do so. And if they say no, tell them about this article. Tell them that the U.S. Supreme Court says I have a right to do so, therefore I will do it. Don't be belligerent. Be peaceful. And when you're done, say thank you. Add a little sarcasm at your leisure and be on your way. Facts are facts, folks. How can you sit there and get pulled over by a cop and not have the expectation of privacy when they got a camera on their car behind you? If you have someone in your car, you tell them immediately when they come to your car, I'm recording you for future, for, whatever reasons. I'm recording you for reasons you will find out in court. That way, they know they are being recorded. That way, you can take it into the courtroom and tell them, I instructed the officer that I was at that moment recording him or her. Chances are, and I've seen this as well, that if you get pulled over, the cop, which is your accuser, basically, is required by law to show up in the courtroom. If he or she does not, it's a pretty good chance your case can get dismissed. By the way, the militarized law enforcement in those suits and in those cars work for a corporation called the United States Incorporated. Yeah, go look it up. The Act of 1871. It's not so much keeping the law, policing the area for the safety of the residents. No. You know what it is? Revenue generation. That's all it is. When you have to go to court and pay a fine, that's what it is. If you do not, what do you think a bench warrant is? Okay? You can almost, and I say almost, equate that with a warranty. If something breaks down, you take it back, you get it fixed for free. Unfortunately, switch that around. You don't show up to court, you get arrested and fined some more. And they damn near take everything away from you. So I know. I've talked to a lot of my friends who've been in courtrooms, and I've been into a few myself, but not at the extreme as my friends or anyone else. I can tell you this much. We, the people, can change the direction of this country very, very quickly. We can. The current environment can be changed by our own, well, let's just say, positive and peaceful interaction. I've seen it happen. Great example, we're using this as an example, Bunkerville, Nevada, the Bundy Ranch situation. Peaceful. Citizens militia are still down there, and other people are coming and you know, it's like some people come replace them, and they go home, and some people come replace them. And I really encourage people that if they're in, you know, anywhere near Bunkerville in a day's drive, please, or even 6 hours or 7 hours, please go down there and help them out. They definitely need help. Because the BLM tore up piping and water, you know, and all that. They just destroyed a whole bunch of stuff. And now, you know, Cliven Bundy and his sons and the ranch hands are trying to repair all this stuff, but there's volunteers that have come out from all over the country to help them out. So consider helping them out. We understand, as a group of American citizens, the cost of keeping this country safe. We see it every day. Problem is, we have a nation's capital and the members of, and 535 members of that capital that have no clue how to keep this country safe. Because each and every single one of them are bought off by a corporation or corporations. And those corporations are run by other people who are either associated or are leaders in their companies. And those people are run by other people. They're controlled by other people. And those people are meeting right now in Copenhagen, Denmark, at the Bilderberg meeting. And I got to tell you, this is something that has to be exposed. And some of the mainstream media have no clue or are, you know, really declaring ignorance of anything about the Bilderberg group, such as Sean Hannity. Somebody asked him, well, do you know anything? Well, I don't know anything about the Bilderberg group. Yeah, he does. Dumbass. He should. Anyway. Hey, folks. Jeez, that was quick. Bottom of the hour. Email me, freeamericaradio@usa.com, freeamericaradio@usa.com. The website is freeamericaradio.us. If you want to donate to the Free America Radio Network, you can, just by going there. And, yeah. Go to the Emergency Food Supply tab at the top of the page and get all the food you can, and in that way you'll be helping out Free America Radio Network as well. I'll be back right after this. Want to know what's happening all around us? You do? Great! Come check out the Diana and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri Talk Show, Friday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, right here on Spreaker.com. Have a nice trip. See you next fall. Attending their daughter's wedding in South Africa promised to be a vacation of a lifetime. But first, they had to face the treacherous gauntlet known as modern-day travel. Waiting for them on the other side of the world are an honest-to-goodness safari with amorous lions and elephants with anger issues, a life-affirming visit to a South African school, and an anxious bride and groom standing patiently at the airport with a sign that reads, "What took you so long?" The answers lie within the pages of Please Hold Thumbs, a not-so-round trip to South Africa, a true tale of turbulence and triumph from travel mug Scott Cherney, author of Red Asphalt. Available at Amazon.com in paperback and on the Kindle.
This is Michael Vera with Late Night in the Midlands, and you're listening to the views expressed live with your host, Reverend Wayne Pierce, on the Free America Radio Network.
You're listening to the views expressed right here on the Free America Radio Network. Hi, folks. This is the Views Expressed live right here for the 30th of May, 2014. Almost missed my cue. It's Friday, folks. What can you say? Two things well, I had to take a little power nap before the show. Trust me, I'm in a good mood. I'm in a really good mood. Hey, I want to give a big shout out to the one and only Mr. Bob Brutus over at WakingUpTheMasses.com, Waking Up the Masses Radio Network. Yes, he's broadcasting my show live over there on his network and on 1610 in the Chickamauga, Georgia area, and on the TuneIn app of your very incredibly intelligent phone, your tracking system. So anyway, and also you can hear me on Spreaker.com and FreeAmericaRadio.us. So, what's on your mind? Yeah, I bet there's a whole lot on your mind. Go to Free America Radio on Facebook. Legal wheels may be beginning to turn in the fight against geoengineering. Geoengineeringwatch.org has that article. I put that up twice. Holy crap. Well, let me take it out. Let me take one of them out anyway. You ever do that? Go post something and you realize, man, I put that up twice. I did. See, having one of those days, folks. What do you know there? Well, I guess I took both of them out. Holy crap. Well, oh, there it is, I think. No, I deleted it, folks. I'm sorry. What can I say? See, having one of those days, you know? From Brian Lang over at Live Truth Radio, he put this up from Brian Wine, or Byron, ByronWine.com. The Organic Act of 1871. Know what it is and why it matters. That's something to take a look at, isn't it? Hey, take a look at it, folks. I got time. In 1871, on February 21st, Congress passes an act to provide a government for the District of Columbia, also known as the Act of 1871. With no constitutional authority to do so, Congress creates a separate form of government for the District of Columbia, a 10-square-mile parcel of land. See Acts of the 41st Congress, Section 34, Session 3, Chapters 61 and 62. The Act, passed when the country was weakened and financially depleted in the aftermath of the Civil War, was a strategic move by foreign interests, international bankers, who were intent upon gaining a stronghold on the coffers and neck of America. Congress cut a deal with the international bankers, specifically Rothschilds of London, to incur a debt to said bankers. Because the bankers were not about to lend money to a floundering nation without serious stipulations, they devised a way to get their foot in the door of the United States. The Act of 1871 formed a corporation called the United States, all in capital letters, folks. The corporation, owned by foreign interests, moved in and shoved the original Constitution into the dustbin. With the Act of 1871, the organic Constitution was defaced, in effect vandalized and sabotaged, when the title was capitalized and the word for was changed to of in the title. In capital letters, it says, "The Constitution of the United States of America is the Constitution of the Incorporated United States of America. It operates in an economic capacity and has been used to fool the people into thinking it governs the Republic. It does not. Capitalization is not insignificant when one is referring to a legal document. This seemingly minor alteration has had a major impact on every subsequent generation of Americans. What Congress did by passing the Act of 1871 was create an entirely new document, a constitution for the government of the District of Columbia, an incorporated government. This newly altered Constitution was not intended to benefit the Republic. It benefits only the corporation of the United States of America and operates entirely outside of the original organic Constitution. Instead of having absolute and unalienable rights guaranteed under the organic Constitution, we the people now have, quote-unquote, relative rights or privileges. One example is the sovereign's right to travel, which has now been transformed under corporate government policy into a privilege that requires citizens to be licensed. Passports. By passing the Act of 1871, Congress committed treason against the people who were sovereign under the grants and decrees of the Declaration of Independence and the Organic Constitution. Information courtesy of Lisa Giuliani, www.babblemagazine.com. The Act of 1871 became the foundation of all of the treason since committed by the government officials. Dove. Following is an expansion and further explanation of the above, an adaptation of Lisa's work done with her permission, which you may want to read for your own edification. Whereas my chapter 9, this is Lisa's work, is in a time map of the major headlines and landmines of the 200 years plus history of America. Each subsequent chapter goes into particular details. This section is from chapter 18, quote, "The title of two governments," which overall addresses the difference between a democracy and a republic, as well as the fact of a federal government and a shadow government practicing under the guise of the corporation. I'm sure Lisa won't mind you're using what you need in order to make whatever point you wish to make in the moment. The United States isn't a country. It's a corporation. Preparation for stealing America, the puppets of Britain's banking cabal had already created a second government, a shadow government designed to manage what the common herd believed was a democracy. But what really was an incorporated United States. Together, this chimera, this two-headed monster, disallowed the common herd all rights of sua juris, you, in your sovereignty. Congress, with no authority to do so, created a separate form of government from the District of Columbia. Now, it goes down into a lot more. Why and how did they do this? First, Lisa Giuliani of Babel magazine reminds us that the Civil War was in fact, quote, little more than a calculated front with fancy footwork by backroom players, unquote. Then she adds, quote, it was only a strategic maneuver by British and European interest, international bankers, intent on gaining a stronghold on the coffers of America, and because Congress knew our country was in dire financial straits. Certain members of Congress cut a deal with the international bankers. In those days, the Rothschilds of London were dipping their fingers into everyone's pie. There you have the why. Why members of Congress permitted the international bankers to gain further control of America. Then, by passing the Act of 1871, Congress formed a corporation known as the United States. Okay? It just goes over some more stuff. And she says, let me explain. The original Constitution drafted by the Founding Fathers read, the Constitution for the United States of America. Note that neither the words United nor States began with capital letters, but the Constitution of the United States of America is a corporate constitution, which is absolutely not the same document you think it is. First of all, it ended all of our rights as sovereignty. So now you have the how the international bankers got their hands into the United States. To fully understand how our rights of sovereignty were ended, you must know the full meaning of sovereign. Quote, chief or highest supreme power, superior in position to all others, independent of and unlimited by others, possessing or entitled to original and independent authority or jurisdiction, unquote. In short, our government, which was created by and for us as sovereigns, free citizens deemed to have the highest authority in the land, was stolen from us along with our rights. Keep in mind that according to the original Constitution, only we the people are sovereign. Government is not sovereign. The Declaration of Independence says, quote, government is subject to the consent of the governed, unquote. That's us, the sovereign. When did you last feel like a sovereign? As Lisa Giuliani explained, quote, it doesn't take a rocket scientist or a constitutional historian to figure out that the U.S. government has not been subject to the consent of the governed since long before you and I were born. Rather, the governed are subject to the whim and greed of the corporation, which has stretched its tentacles beyond the 10-mile square parcel of land known as District of Columbia. In fact, it has invaded every state of the Republic. Mind you, the corporation has no jurisdiction beyond the District of Columbia. You just think it does. Quote, you see, you are presumed to know the law, which is very weird since we the people are taught nothing about the law in school. We memorize obscure facts and phrases here and there like the preamble which says we the people established this Constitution for the United States of America. But our teachers only gloss over the Bill of Rights. Our schools, controlled by the corporate government, don't delve into the Constitution at depth. After all, the corporation was established to indoctrinate and dumb down the masses, not to teach anything of value or importance. Certainly, no one mentioned that America was sold out to foreign interests, that we were beneficiaries of the debt incurred by Congress, or that we were in debt to the international bankers. Yet for generations, Americans have had the bulk of their earnings confiscated to pay a massive debt that they did not incur. There's an endless stream of things that people aren't told. And now that you are being told, how do you feel about being made the recipient of a debt without your knowledge or consent? After the passage of the Act of 1871, Congress set a series of subtle and overt deceptions into motion. Deceptions in the form of decisions that were meant to sell us down the river. Over time, the Republic took it on the chin until it was knocked down and counted out by a technical KO. With the surrender of the people's gold in 1933, the common herd was handed over to illegitimate law. I'll bet you weren't taught that in school. Our corporate form of governance is based on Roman civil law and admiralty, or maritime law, which is also known as the divine right of kings and the law of the seas. Another fact of the American history not taught in our schools. Let me interject something here, folks. There's this LOST, L-O-S-T, which is the law of the sea treaties or convention, which means that the United States, when signing this through the United Nations, has given everything over to the corporations. Okay? Continuing. Actually, Roman civil law was fully established in the colonies before our nation began, and then became managed by private international law. In other words, the government created by the District of Columbia via the Act of 1871, operates solely under private international law, not common law, which was the foundation of our constitutional republic. Quote, this fact has impacted all Americans in concrete ways. For instance, although private international law is technically only applicable within the District of Columbia and not in the other states of the Union, the arms of the corporation of the United States are called departments, i.e. the Justice Department, the Treasury Department. And those departments affect everyone, no matter where, in what state they live. Guess what? Each department belongs to the corporation, to the United States. Refer to any United States code, USC. Note that the capitalization, this is evidence of a corporation, not a republic. For example, in Title 283002, 15 ABC, it is unequivocally stated that the United States is a corporation. Translation, the corporation is not a separate and distinct entity. It is not disconnected from the government. It is the government, your government. It is extremely important. If I refer to this corporate empire of the United States, which operates under Roman civil law outside of the original Constitution, how do you like being ruled by a corporation? You say you'll ask your congressperson what about this. Congress is fully aware of this deception, so it's time that you, too, become aware of the deception. What this great deception means is that the members of Congress do not work for us, you and me. They work for the corporation, for the United States. No wonder we can't get them to do anything on our behalf or meet our demands or answer our questions. Technically, legally, or any other way you want to look at the matter, the corporate government of the United States has no jurisdiction or authority in any state of the Union, the Republic, beyond the District of Columbia. Let that tidbit sink in, then ask yourself, could this deception have occurred without full knowledge and complicity of the Congress? Do you think it happened by accident? If you do, you're deceiving yourself. There are no accidents, no coincidences. Face the facts and confront the truth. Remember, you presumed to know the law. They know you don't know the law, or, for that matter, your history. Why? Because no concerted effort was ever made to teach or otherwise inform you. As a sovereign, you are entitled to full disclosure of the facts. As a slave, you are entitled to nothing other than what the corporation decides to give you. Remember also that ignorance of the law is no excuse. It's your responsibility and obligation to learn the law and know how it applies to you. No wonder the corporation counted on the fact that most people are too indifferent or unconcerned or distracted or lazy to learn what they need to know to survive within the system. We have been conditioned to let the government do our thinking for us. Now's the time to turn that around if we intend to help save our republic and ourselves before it's too late. As an instrument of the international bankers, the United States owns you from birth to death. It also holds ownership of all of your assets, of your property, even of your children. Think long and hard about all the bills, taxes, fines, and licenses you have to pay for or purchased. Yes, they had you by the pockets. If you don't believe it, read the 14th Amendment. See how free you really are? Ignorance of the facts led to your silence. Silence is construed as consent to be beneficiaries of a debt you did not incur. As a sovereign people, we have been deceived for hundreds of years. We think we are free, but in truth we are servants to the corporation. Congress committed treason against the people in 1871. Honest men could have corrected the fraud and treason, but apparently they weren't enough honest men to counteract the lust for money and power. We lost more freedom than we will ever know, thanks to corporate infiltration of our so-called government. Do you think that any soldier who died in any of the many wars would have fought if he or she had known the truth? Do you think one person would have laid down his or her life for a corporation? How long will we remain silent? How long will we perpetuate the myth that we are free? When will we stand together as one sovereign people? When will we take back what has been stolen from us? If the people of America had known to what extent their trust was betrayed, how long would it have taken for a real revolution to occur? What we now need is a revolution of thought. We need to change our thinking. Then we can change our world. Our children deserve their rightful legacy, the liberty of our ancestors fought to preserve, and the legacy of a sovereign and fully free people. By the way, this was posted in BabbleMagazine.com on August 22nd, 2002. It's right there on Free America Radio. Folks, the chances are that you were ever taught the truth in your governmental indoctrination institutes is very, very, very slim. They know exactly what they're doing. And now we have Common Core, Communist Core, Cruddy Core. And we have one above that one called World Core. I can't make it any plainer, folks. You either, regardless of color, creed, religious affiliation, political affiliation, you are human beings. You are citizens, a sovereign, with unalienable, or in some cases unalienable, if you were to really use the word for what it meant, unalienable rights that cannot be taken away from you. If you truly understand that and truly lived in that mindset, in that thought, and did not allow the crap that is happening right now to happen, this constitutional republic would not be in the shape that it's in today. But we have too many lazy people, too many people that want to sit back, gimme, 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 the government's going to take care of me. You know, women having 2, 3, 4, 5 kids and letting the government just pay for everything. Well, guess what? That money in the government comes from somewhere. Where does that come from? I would say matching funds come from well, mainly come from you, the taxpayers, and matching funds come from, yeah, guess where, folks? Just take a wild freaking guess. China. And other third world countries. Do you really think for a moment that they have placed this surveillance grid around you just because they want to? Well, that's part of it. No, they want to know where you're at, what you're doing, who you're with, what you're saying. They want to hear you. By the way, this little tracking device that you carry around most of the time, even when it's off, you power down, you shut it off, and you plug it in, they can turn the microphone on and hear everything you're saying. And if you have a camera on it, they can turn it on and see whatever you're doing. Same thing with your webcam. If you have a webcam with a microphone that connects to the internet, they can see it. They know how to turn it on without that little green light coming on. So, folks, I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know where to go from here except to say you got some serious problems on your hand. And you better change the way you think today. You better change the way you think. Nothing is as it seems or how they have told you it is. It is much different and, frankly, my friends, much worse than you can ever imagine. Take a look at Iraq. Take a look at Syria. Take a look at Tunisia. Take a look at Egypt. Take a look at all these other places that are coming under fire from the people or from the government. And look at the people rebelling against that government. Those people have the balls to get out in the street and do something about it. What about you? Hey, Mr. Brian Lang, if you ever came down here to Reno, Nevada, where I'm broadcasting from, let's hit the streets. Let's round some people up. Namely, let's go to the sheriff's office and say, hey, are you constitutional? Then why in the hell are you letting this stuff happen? Why are you letting Harry Reid run roughshod over this whole state? Why are you letting the BLM do what they do? We need to disarm them, and we need to disarm them today. Tell the BLM to get the hell out of Nevada and leave their AR-15s behind. I am a sovereign citizen. I declare myself a patriot under the Constitution for the United States prior to 1871. 3 of my family members didn't fight in the Union Army in the Civil War for nothing. Neither did yours. I don't care where they came from. My dad didn't serve 3 years, 4 years in the Air Force, in the Air Corps from 1947 to 1950 for no reason. I wasn't in the military for no reason. But the short time that I was in, I realized one very valuable thing. You either take your oath seriously, no matter what, or you pack it, jack it, and leave. And if you were sitting out there saying, well, I'm against guns, and I'm against this, you're a patriot, I'm going to come get... If you are all that, all I got to say to you is, pack it up and get the hell out of the United States. I got a right to say what I have to say, and I disagree with you. Great, let's debate about it. But if you start getting wild and start swinging, I'm dropping you right where you stand. You don't like it? I don't care. You make it your purpose, patriots, to change the environment that you're in, to change the way you think, to change the way you do things, and stand up, speak out, and get involved. Thank you, Brian Lang. And do something about your situation before somebody else comes along and controls everything you do. I shall be back right after this.
Late Night in the Midlands is an alternative media that covers the truth, theory, and fact that the lamestream media won't talk about. We cover everything from the known and the unknown, the normal and the paranormal, the government lies and the government ties, and even their thrive. We tell what's coming, what's going, whether it be politics or archaeologists. We have an amazing fan base, and our shows are all archived to be heard millions of times more. So tell your friends, your family, and anybody you care about LateNightInTheMidlands.com. Become a member and be informed.
Get your morning started with the Morning Brew on 92.6 The Blitz. Music from the 60s, 70s, and more. The Blitz 92.6. Go to RadioRockTheBlitz.blogspot.com.
Free Talk Live.
You give someone an ounce of liberty and they'll go around abusing it and harming everyone else with it.
If we legalize guns...
People will be shooting people everywhere.
Right.
If you legalize prostitution, people will be having sex on the street corners. If you legalize drugs, we'll have heroin vending machines in the streets. We've heard it all on Free Talk Live. They take it to the most absurd, illogical extremes, and you're absolutely right, Alexander. It's okay for them to have freedom.
Yeah, you can give them a gun. They won't go around shooting people. But watch out with their neighbor, because you give them a gun, they'll go around in a rampage around the city, killing everyone.
But yes, they can be trusted, and apparently the government can be trusted too, because magically, we only elect the best of the best, the cream of the crop. The bureaucrats that are administering these programs are the upper echelon of society, the most trustworthy individuals.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes when I squint, I swear I can see a halo above their heads.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Are you tired of the mainstream media? The media that is so biased, you wouldn't even let your dog listen to it? Well, there's an answer. Angel Clark.
On RadioFreedom.us.
Just listen to her fans.
One hell of a writer. I've read a considerable amount of her articles and quite impressed.
Until Angel, my life was void of meaning.
I want to thank you for saving my goldfish from drowning.
I love Angel Clark's honesty and her down-to-earth concern about the people.
She is very dedicated.
Angel, we need you.
This Angel's a sexy woman. I think she's going to go places, but I don't know where.
Ladies and gentlemen, she does a good job.
If it wasn't for Angel,
you saved his life, and I will be indebted to you forever.
Sussex, CountyAngel.com.
Be a part of Angel's Army.
Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. on RadioFreedom.us.
Free Talk Live.
Do you guys have a zombie plan? I'm just wondering what this country's going to do if we had some sort of apocalypse like that.
Like a zombie attack. What are we going to do? People coming out of the ground, like in Thriller, like in Michael Jackson's
Thriller. No, like 28
Thriller.
days later, like a virus or something.
Oh, okay.
I mean, people don't come back to life.
Well, now, there are different kinds of zombies out there.
Now,
but let me go through the types of zombies. I mean, you've got the ones that can crawl out of the ground, right? And then she was talking about like an infection kind of zombie, like a la Resident Evil, for instance. So ideally, if you're going to have to perish at the hands of a zombie, which would be the preference? Would you prefer to have your brains eaten, or would you prefer to become one of them?
I think I'd rather just die. The last thing I'd want is, of course, the people you split up with, then I'm talking my wife and my child. I'm coming back. I'm wanting to eat Laura's brains. It's bad. It's bad.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
What does freedom mean? Tune in to LRN.FM to find out.
LRN.FM is the Liberty Radio Network, a collection of live talk radio and podcasts, all coming from a principled pro-liberty perspective. LRN.FM show hosts aren't left, right, or conspiracy kooks. You can tune in 24/7 to LRN.FM via your phone, computer, satellite, and more. Listen free anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
I knew it. This is an alien, and you guys are from some government agency trying to keep it under wraps.
I can't take it anymore!
You've got troubles, Mac.
Did you know that the first Matrix was designed to be a perfect human world, where none suffered, where everyone would be happy? And it was a disaster. No one would accept the program. Entire crops were lost. Some believed that we lacked the programming language to describe your perfect world, but I believe that as a species, human beings define their reality through misery and suffering. So the perfect world was a dream that your primitive cerebrum kept trying to wake up from, which is why the Matrix was redesigned to this, the peak of your civilization.
So this is how liberty dies. With thunderous applause.
Sharing the truth one fact at a time. This is the Free America Radio Network.
Hey folks, welcome. This is the Views Expressed right here on the Free America Radio Network. How y'all doing today? It's Friday, the 30th of May, 2014. Glad you stuck around if you were here in the first hour. I was a little excited, aren't I? Second hour and the final hour of the show. Thank you very much. Things are changing with Free America Radio Network, and I'll let you know more later. I got some things in the works. But you can be a part of that, folks. Yes, you can be a part of that. If you want to sponsor the show, if you want to advertise on the show, please email me. We'll work something out. Email me at freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. Promotions, I mean, you know, you got a show, you got somebody, as long as you're not selling anything, okay, I'll promote you all day long. But if you want to advertise on the show, on the Free America Radio Network, on this show specifically, you just let me know, and we'll work something out. freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. Now, you know, I thought about it, and somebody asked me in some way why it's called Free America Radio Network. Free America. Just take those two words right there. Free America. Not that you're going to get anything free in this country, but most people do who are illegal. But I'm talking the patriots want to free America from the tyranny that is coming out of Washington, D.C. So that is appropriate, as I thought many years ago what to name the network. Free America Radio Network. And it goes right in line with waking up the masses over there with founder and CEO Bob Brutus. Waking up the masses to free America from the suppression, oppression, depression, from the tyranny, from the Marxist fascist bullcrap coming out of Washington, D.C. So if you want to be a part of Free America Radio Network, please let me know. You can always advertise on Free America Radio Network. Just email me and we'll work something out. We're also going to the next level. We are on wakingupthemasses.com and 1610 AM in the Chickamauga, Georgia area. You can also hear my show on freeamericaradio.us. You can also donate if you'd like. If you don't want to advertise, you can donate. Go to freeamericaradio.us, scroll on down to the bottom of the screen. You'll see a donate button, and there you go. It's important to understand just how free you truly are. Not because some piece of paper says you are, not because some corrupt politician says you are, or alleges that you are. No, you know within your own heart, within every fiber of your body, that you are a free, sovereign individual with unalienable rights. Inalienable rights, however you want to say it. You know it. That's just the way it is. Go to the Spreaker chat. I'm going to say hello to Stephen Collinborn and, of course, the one and only Mr. Nick Tucker from Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker on Facebook. Check it out. Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker. And of course, he's got some news to share with you all, and as soon as the details come to me, I shall share them with you. His show has been on hiatus just for a little bit. Yes, life gets in the way, and then you have to go live it. Some things have to be put aside, so Distorted Reality has been put on hiatus just for a little while, but it will be back from what I hear. But I don't have the details. As soon as I get the details, I will let you all know. Go to Free America Radio on Facebook. You can always send me a message through Facebook as well if you'd like. Free America Radio. Sean Hannity, yeah, what a doofus, was asked about the Bilderberg Group. He had no clue what it was. There's a video right there on Free America Radio via Mark Dice. Check that out. From WorldNet Daily, WND, Whiskey November Delta, WorldNetDaily.com. Obama's bid for UN Secretary General begins. Why do you think he's pushing all these executive orders and signing these things over to the United Nations, folks? And if this is true, guess who's going to take over America? Well, I don't want to say America. It's the United States. America is both, is all three: Canada, America, and Canada, U.S., and Mexico. So I want to get it right. United States, the U.S. So he's going to try to push for Secretary General of the United Nations. Another article from WND is scores of illegals released at Arizona bus stops. Go check that out, if you would. Here's a big one, folks, and it's very, very important because I know people that live and work in California and have businesses in California. www.ncpa.org. The link is there in Free America Radio on Facebook. Residents and businesses flee California. They're leaving in droves, folks, and they have been for the last 14 years. California is the cause of its own economic woes, writes Jared Mayer, policy analyst for Economics 21. Californians are facing a lack of jobs, high energy costs, and low economic mobility. The state's low-skilled workers, including large numbers of immigrants, have especially suffered. Texas, however, Also has a large immigrant population, yet it has strong economic growth, lower unemployment, and plenty of jobs. California companies, including Toyota, are leaving the Golden State and heading to Texas, and more will follow. California is inflicting these economic problems on itself. The American Legislative Exchange Council ranked California 47th for business outlook this year. Texas, on the other hand, has ranked 13th, while California neighbors, Arizona and Nevada, were ranked 7th and 8th, respectively. Why such low ranking? The state has continued to promulgate policies that restrict growth, raise prices, and hurt job creation. 1. Over 15 billion barrels of oil are estimated to lay in the Monterey Shale oil reserves, yet the Los Angeles City Council recently moved to ban oil exploration there entirely. North Dakota residents can earn $120,000 a year working in the oil and gas sector. North Dakota also has 2.6% unemployment rate, while joblessness in California sits at 8.1%. Number 2, low-income families are forced to spend a full quarter of their incomes on natural gas, electricity, and gasoline due to California's misguided energy policies. The state has continued to raise its renewable energy standards despite its impact on costs. Number 3, moreover, California's tax system does nothing to encourage business creation. The state has the highest individual tax rate in the nation, 13.3%, and a flat corporate tax rate at 8.84%. That's too high, folks. It needs to be down around 4 or 5. Number 4, the state's regulations also hinder economic growth. Its consumer protection statutes only invite litigation, and California's environmental regulations continue to drive companies outside of the state. California is on a dangerous course, and it has the highest level of unfunded pension liabilities in the nation at $650 billion. Yes, folks, billion with a B. The state lost 410,000 residents to Nevada and Arizona between 2000 and 2010, taking nearly $12 billion in adjusted growth income with them. Additionally, 225,000 Californians and $4.5 billion in income fled the state and moved to Texas. And the source on that is Jared Meyer, quote, "Poverty's grip on California is man-made," unquote. Economics 21, 24th of May, 2014. Thank you, Jared. So what do you think, folks? You think you're going to believe the dictator-in-chief when he says the economy's good? No. He's lying through his damn teeth and he knows it. If anybody's in the Spreaker chat that wants to weigh in on that, let me know. I used to live in California. I was born and raised in Stockton, California. Let me tell you something. I saw the writing on the wall. So did my cousin. So did a whole lot of people I know. A friend of mine who I went to high school with left California many years ago and moved to New Hampshire. My cousin who I grew up with moved to Texas. My other cousin that I know moved around. His father was in the Air Force. My uncle was in the Air Force, so he moved around a lot, but he stayed in California for most of his time. He got out of the Marines and went to Colorado. So he says California's done. That was like 15 years ago. So when you see California from the outside, you know it's in the toilet. You know it is in the toilet. You might as well just flush that turd down the toilet because it's done. Okay? California is done, folks. I don't give a crap how they wrap that turd up in paper. It ain't happening, folks. California is done. $650 billion in unfunded liabilities. Guess where that, you know how 75% of that is from the unions that guaranteed their workers would get a retirement. And now California's going, wait a minute, hold on. We can't do that because we're broke. Yeah, hello. You understand it now? Unions suck, folks. They used to be good when they started out many, many years ago, decades ago. They were great, wonderful. Actually, the first union was back in the 1800s, but it progressively got corrupted over the years. Can you say organized crime? Can you say the Gambino family and the Lucchese family? Yeah, I studied them too, folks. Now we have a bigger mafia. We have a bigger group of criminals that are in organized crime. It's called 535 congressmen and women. Oh, I thought Trey Gowdy was going to pull out all the stops and get things done. Well, yeah. He set up this whole system, folks, of pretty much giving away all of our rights. Okay? Yeah, I don't have it here on the page at Free America Radio on Facebook, but he pretty much set up a Muslim Brotherhood member into an important investigation to Benghazi. Okay? So, Nick Tucker says, I have a friend who worked in construction with the Ironworkers Labor Union, and he moved to Vegas because of the taxes. He said if you make $1,000, you bring home around $450 after taxes. That's true. That's true. Let me say this in layman's terms, okay? You work for an organization. They have a union. That union says you have to pay your dues. Okay, how much are the dues? Okay, let's just say you make, let's say you make $1,000. Let's say your union dues are $100. So you got $900 left. Taxes eat a third of that up, basically. So you got $600 left. That's not enough, folks. Let's cut out the middleman, get rid of the unions, keep the $900 yourself, right? And here's another novel idea. Get rid of all unions altogether. I don't give a crap if they're teachers' unions, whatever. Well, then you're not going to be safe on a construction site. Hey, use common sense and not get into a dangerous situation, dumbass. You know what I mean? It just makes sense to me, doesn't it? Don't put yourself out there to where you're going to get hurt. Think about it. How about this for another novel idea? You hear this thing about, let me go into this direction. Hear this thing about raising minimum wage. Are you stupid? Must be. 7,000 McDonald's are now considering or now implementing putting in self-service kiosks. How's that raising your minimum wage at McDonald's working out for you? Huh? Now, I know some people are going to say, well, that's just a starter job. But what if you got circumstances that you just can't get out of and you work there for 2, 3, 4 years, you become manager and you start making a good money, blah, blah, blah. Really, right? You don't have enough desire to get out of a dead-end job to find something better or to better yourself other than that? Now, that's something to think about, right? So let's just abolish minimum wage altogether and implement a fair market living wage per region. Well, that's a minimum wage. No, it's not. It's a fair market living wage per region. Go look at the statistics concerning what your bosses pay you for your position and what that position is worth. You need to make that money of what that position is worth, not you in that position. what the position is worth. You figure that one out. Go look that one up. Okay? A fair market living wage per region. And how about this, folks? Get rid of the IRS, the Federal Reserve, get rid of all taxes whatsoever, and implement the tiered tax system as we have it now, and implement a fair, not even a fair. I'm going to get rid of that word. I don't want to use that word at all ever in my entire life concerning taxes. Flat tax across the board. So if you make $2,000 a month, you have a flat tax of, I don't know, let's just throw a number out there, 15%. How's that? You keep $1,700, I would believe, if my math in my head is correct, instead of making $2,000 and taking home $1,200. Okay? You see what I'm saying? The current tiered tax system does not work and is archaic and serves, well, it doesn't serve anybody. It's just archaic and needs to go away. Somebody once told me I'm anti-government. I said, no, I'm not. I'm anti-corrupt government. And IRS and the Federal Reserve are both private corporations that are corrupt. Get rid of them. Iceland did. And they're much better off now. So why can't we take a page out of out of the book that Iceland wrote? Take a page out of their country and say, hey, how did you do this? If I'm not mistaken, and I could be, the Provost Marshal of the United States of America, wouldn't he be under the Attorney General? He has the constitutional protection and right to go into the Oval Office and arrest the president. If I'm correct on that. I may not be, but from what I understand, that's how it is. Okay? I could be wrong. Please correct me if I am. I'm okay with that. I just want to, before I forget, want to remind Nick Tucker from Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker on Facebook. I read an article from ByronWine.com. If you go look on Free America Radio on Facebook, Organic Act of 1871. I read the whole thing. It's a PDF. Go check it out. If you would, please. But we have to do something, folks. I don't know about you, but I'm seriously tired of this bullcrap. I'm seriously tired of having my government tell me what I got to do, how I got to do it, what fee and tax I got to pay, and all this, that, and the other. No, screw you. Mr. Politician, Mr. Harry Reid, bite me. You know? I just cannot put myself into a good mood when I understand or know or actually factually know that this government is completely and utterly corrupt. I try, I attempt to be happy, I smile, I get out of the house every so often. You know? Makes you wonder, folks, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Makes you wonder. You just, you want to... You just want to scream sometimes, don't you? You just want to... You want to reach out, grab somebody by the shoulders, and shake them and wake them up. You can't do that. You want to take them and body slam them and pile drive them into the ground sometimes, don't you? Can't do that either. It's just not nice. It's not peaceful. You just want to scream sometimes. I just want to pull out what hair I got left. I mean, you know, it's just, What can I say, folks? Email me, freeamericaradio@usa.com, freeamericaradio@usa.com. You can go to the website at freeamericaradio.us. Donate if you can, or sponsor this show if you'd like. At least consider it. Email me and we'll work something out. freeamericaradio@usa.com. I shall return right after this. With her unique, fast-paced, witty sarcasm, Angel Clark brings you the news of the day with a creative twist. Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern on radiofreedom.us. You can also listen to her live on the Liberty Radio Network at lrn.fm.
Lock it on to the best station on the net.
The Free America Radio Network. Are you a filmmaker and want to make your epic feature film with no money, some money, and/or all the money in the world? Listen to Christopher J. Taylor as he discusses everything you need to know about filmmaking and more on Film 101 on HTLA973.com. This is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce from the Free America Radio Network. Prepare yourself for the unexpected. Have an emergency food supply available when you need it. You never know when the next power outage or natural disaster will happen. Are you prepared when it does? Go to Free America Radio Network website and click on the Store tab and get your emergency food supply now. Go to freeamericaradio.us. A natural disaster could happen at any time. Be prepared. Go to freeamericaradio.us and click on the Store tab to get your emergency food supply today. That's freeamericaradio.us and click on the Store tab and prepare in case something happens. Listen to the Diana and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri Talk Show, Friday nights at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern, right here on Spreaker.com.
Sharing the truth one fact at a time. This is the Free America Radio Network.
Hey, folks, welcome back. This is the Free America Radio Network. This is the views expressed live. Go to freeamericaradio.us. Up on top, you'll see Emergency Food Supply tab. Click on that and get all the emergency food supplies you need. And in the process, you'll be helping out Free America Radio Network get to the next level. Thank you very much for your support. If you don't want to do that, you can donate right there. Go to the bottom of the page and you'll see a donate button. Donate as much as you can if you can. Thank you for your support for the Free America Radio Network. You can hear this show, The Views Expressed, live Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Pacific on WakingUpTheMasses.com on 1610 a.m. in the Chickamauga, Georgia area. Thank you, Mr. Bob Brutus. You can also listen to me on Spreaker.com. Oh, and one more thing. Go listen to Brian Lang, Live Truth Radio on WakingUpTheMasses.com. Awesome show. You think I get a little fired up? Well, you haven't heard him yet. Thank you, Brian. What a day, folks. It's Friday. Thank goodness it's Friday. And let me ask you, is there anybody still in the Spreaker chat? Just pop in there and say yes if you are. Thank you. Appreciate that. What can I... I don't know where to begin, okay? I don't know. I do want to say this, that let's just say I know someone, and if I can get some details from them, I know someone who pretty much does a lot for Adrenaline Unleashed Sports Entertainment and Pro Wrestling Training School. Yes, down in the Las Vegas area. Yes. I'm a big wrestling fan. I go back, I'm old enough to remember. When I was growing up in Stockton, California, I was living in Stockton, California. I remember watching what was called Big Time Wrestling coming out of Sacramento, California, with host Hank Renner. That's when I got. That's when I found out who Pat Patterson was, Rocky Johnson, you know, the father of Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. I started watching it, and I'm thinking, holy crap, this is fun. And as a kid, I was like 10, 12 years old. I didn't know, you know. And then all of a sudden, just every time there was a wrestling match on, I would watch. It was every weekend. I believe it was on a Sunday. And the other day, I was sitting around doing stuff on the internet, checking some stuff out, reading some articles, and then I realized, wait a minute, Washington, D.C. is like a freaking wrestling match in a way. Because look what's happening, seriously. You've got your opponents, like they do in a wrestling match. You've got your theme, if you will. And then you got the actual battle. And I can almost associate what's going on in Washington, D.C. with lucha libre, with the Mexican wrestling. You ever seen that? Holy crap. No wonder they're acrobats, man. They just, my goodness, you know? Not much happens until about 3/4 of the way into the match. And then all hell breaks loose. All right? Then they get down to business. But I started looking at this whole geopolitical thing, and I'm thinking, my God, it's a freaking battle royal. What the hell is going on? Who's going to walk out of the ring the winner? And I can tell you right now, whoever represents we the people, whoever stands on what is justice, what is right, whoever stands waving the flag, a la the Americans, they're the one who's going to win this geopolitical battle royal. They're the ones who's going to stand on top of the discarded bodies of the enemy in the middle of the ring. They're the ones who are going to wave the flag. They're the ones who are going to get the standing ovation knowing that the Americans won the battle royal to secure the freedom and liberty of each and every citizen. I thought about that the other day, and I couldn't really put it into, proper. I couldn't present it properly. I didn't know how to approach it. I was going to talk about this Monday. And then I go, well, like this, and then other things started popping up. And then I realized it's as simple as a battle royal wrestling match. And all these little skirmishes. You've got your intercontinental matches with the belts. You've got your United States, match with the belts. You've got the heavyweight match. You've got these things that are happening all over. And you've got your winners and losers. But you have to understand that the outcome by way of the controllers, I'm going to say this in the geopolitical sense, which is happening right now on the 30th of May, 2014. The controllers in Copenhagen, Denmark, of the Bilderberg Group are the ones who call the matches. They're the ones who create it, move all of those things around so that one certain element is seen by all. That is my point. These people in Denmark right now, in Copenhagen, Denmark, at the Marriott Hotel. And of course, one special guest is going to be there on the last day, and that would be former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, allegedly. It's going to be directed to the one thing that these people want. Now, I brought up Hillary Clinton for a reason. I don't see anybody else there, but what's the mayor of Atlanta doing there? What's the mayor of Atlanta doing at the Bilderberg meeting in Copenhagen, Denmark? Can you say presidential material? Can you say and ask who he's running against? Can you say Hillary Rodham Clinton? So the match has been set. The match has been set, but yet not called. But you can see from behind that geopolitical curtain that I pull away to show you who's pushing the buttons and pulling the handles. You're already looking at the winner in 2016. Okay? I just want to put that out there because I want people to think about the ramifications of this meeting. The Bilderberg meeting, Copenhagen, Denmark. Alex Jones was there, Dan Dix from his network. Luke Rudowski from We Are Change. And as David Knight was there from InfoWars, and the camera was on the windows, and finally people were coming to the windows and putting this reflective, stuff on the windows to keep the cameras from seeing on what was going on in the inside. They got run off by the Bilderberg security, not Marriott security. Luke Rudowski, awesome guy, apparently. I've watched a lot of his stuff, and he pulls no punches. He confronted Henry Kissinger twice. But I don't see Glenn Beck at the Bilderberg meeting to find out what's going on. I don't see Sean Hannity over there. I don't see Megyn Kelly over there. I don't see any of these people over there. Do you know why? Because those people sitting in that conference room, sitting at the Marriott Hotel in Copenhagen, Denmark, run all the state-run media that you seem to think is telling you the truth, folks. The curtain is pulled back, and you now see who's pushing the buttons and pulling the handles. You now see, or I'm going to say this honestly, I am speculating as to who is going to win the 2016 presidential election, or should I say, seeing who is going to be selected as the new suit at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue in Washington, D.C. You've got one choice, people. One choice only. There is no leeway in this, folks. I'm going to borrow this from Brian Lang. Thank you, Brian. From LiveTruthRadio.com, WakingUpTheMasses.com. Stand up, speak out, get involved. That is the only choice you have. There is no leeway, ever. Failure is not an option. If you want to sit back and look at the little troll that was birthed upon this world from the Illuminati couple of Kanye West and Kim Kardashian, you go right ahead and do that, will you? Yeah, I'll sit here and, yeah. You want to continue to see your stupid reality shows? Folks, the reality of the whole situation is the fact that you can walk outside your door and see your neighborhood, see your whole county, your whole state, your whole government go right into the toilet, and you're sitting there allowing it. Stand up. Why? Because sitting down ain't happening anymore. Speak out. Why? We the people have a voice, and that voice will be heard. Got a bullhorn? Use it. Don't have one? Go get one. Get involved. I don't care if you stand on overpasses with signs, protesting Monsanto or BLM or NDAA. Whatever it is you need to do, do it. If I had the opportunity and the money, I would be right there in Operation American Spring in Washington, D.C., but I'm not. If I had the money, I'd be down in Bunkerville, Nevada, helping out Cliven Bundy and his family, doing what I could. But I don't, and I'm not. But I'll tell you what. It takes somebody with guts. With guts and with courage to get inside the ring of this massive, massive free-for-all this massive battle royal on a geopolitical arena inside this ring and stand there and take on your opponent. It takes a lot of balls and courage to do that. And I'm calling upon all of you, if you've got the balls, the backbone, and the spirit and the guts, get your ass up and get out there and do something. You know why? 2 reasons why. Failure is not an option. Secondly, this is your country. What the hell are you doing to it? Better yet, what are you allowing to be done to it? I respect people who get up and get out and do something. Yeah, do it peacefully, please, because, certain things have to be done peacefully. But when they do not want peace, and when they start to manhandle you, and when they start to drop the hammer on you, then you have a God-given right to protect yourself. That is the bottom line. Now we can also get out and do something. Or we can start getting down to our city council open to the public. County Board of Supervisors open to the public when they are meeting. And we can bring all the information to their face. And if you've got 3 minutes to state your case, then state it quickly. And leave the information with them. Be like what happened in New Mexico. That city council was in session and the people started getting a little bit antsy. No, they took over the whole damn meeting and they rushed them people out of there. That's the way it should be. We the people standing up in the city council meetings telling them that you work for us. You outshout them. Because you know darn well they're going to start shouting at you and they're going to get their police officers or whatever and they're going to try to get you. By the way, if you can, take an attorney with you. A constitutional attorney. You can always check them out at the Rutherford Institute, rutherford.org, or an attorney in your local area that could work pro bono. Then you tell them you got a problem with it, you take it up with my attorney. Oh, they don't like being confronted with the law. City councils, county board of supervisors, they hate that. You know why? Because it holds them accountable. They hate being held accountable. So what is it? You're going to allow this crap to happen? Are you going to continue to let this stuff, destroy you and your family and your county and your city? Or are you going to get up and go do something about it? Huh? I mean, does it make any sense? Does it make any sense? No, it doesn't. Go verbally body slam somebody in your city council. Even if you got to tell the mayor enough's enough. By the way, we have the elections coming up, the selections, I should say, coming up, and we have like all this propaganda out there for the candidates, for the contestants in this, in this thing. We got a new mayor, I believe, going to be elected into Reno. I'm not sure though, but I'll tell you what. If you can get out into your city, and I know you're probably not able to, but if you can get out, if you can walk around, if you can just park your car in a parking garage somewhere, Las Vegas is full of them, right, Nick? If you can just park your car near the Capitol or whatever, and just walk around with your video camera, your cell phone, whatever, and talk to people and ask them, you know what's happening with, the investigation with the VA and Benghazi and all this and everything. Do you know anything about that? Do you know that they're, the NDAA, the indefinite detention of American citizens, do you know that they're, 3025.18 is a directive that tells the military now they can take over the U.S.? I mean, talk to people. Find out where they're at. And then, when you get done with all that, ask them this question. Why have you allowed this to happen? Why have you allowed this to happen? Oh, that'll freak them out. Well, I didn't. Excuse me. I didn't allow that to happen. I didn't even know anything about it. Really? Really? Hey, I'm going to put a word out to other countries that listen to this. And if you're of the group that is rebelling against your tyrannical government, I give you a virtual high five. And I support your efforts to bring down your corrupt government. If you are here in the United States and you have family overseas that are in one of those countries, I suggest you do what you must. It's your family, for goodness sakes. If you see the same thing happening in America that has happened all over the world throughout decades, then you know exactly what's happening to America. I talked to a woman here who's in her 80s, or 90s, who was a teenager in Poland when Hitler took over. She looked at me and she said, America is in the same boat. I've talked to other people who just literally came out and said, America is a communist nation. So my question to you folks is this. Why did you allow it to happen? Why did you allow it to happen? Seriously. I can only guess. But I'm going to guess in this direction that I'm guessing that the people that allowed this to happen just really didn't care. They just didn't care. They voted this jackass to fill the suit in 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, and they voted his, gaff-ridden doofus next to him. Why'd you allow this to happen, folks? Now it's time for the Patriots to clean it up. You know what I'm talking about. Come join me Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on the Free America Radio Network for the Views Expressed Live. Catch me on Monday at 12 noon Pacific for the Wayne S. Pierce Show. Email me, freeamericaradio@usa.com, and the website, freeamericaradio.us. Come join me, folks. Let's take this country back and If we have to do it one city council at a time, we have to do it one city council at a time. And remember this. Real simple. Keep this in your mind. We the people have the power, for we are America.